Hi guys, it's Brett here. Welcome to the webinar today. Very excited and pumped to be speaking to a good friend and someone I look up to and respect. In the name is Gideon Shalwick. He's regarded as probably Australia's foremost expert in video marketing and YouTube. Gosh, I've known Gideon for probably 8 years now. Even when I just started learning copywriting, Gideon had already had a pretty well known name around the circles that I was kind of looking up to, and he's just gone from strength to strength. And what even makes it better, he's a awesome bloke as well, and he lives in Queensland, so that's a good thing. I'll just introduce you now to Gideon. How are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Brett. Thanks for having me on the call. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, no worries. Well, mate, I've got a bunch of questions I want to ask you. I know that the title of today's webinar is Triple Your Leads with video, with these video tips 2015 style. That's a very deep, like, the subject of bringing in leads from video. That's we can go so many different paths. So we're going to try and cover as much as we can. But do you want to give everyone a bit of a background story of you and where you started and what your journey's been like?
Yeah, sure. My entrepreneurial journey started about 8 or 9 years ago. We were in New Zealand, me and my wife, Tineke, and we were both had jobs, pretty good jobs, but we felt that something was a little bit missing. And so I said, well, let's start a business. And Tineke said, all right, let's give it a go. And not long before that, after that, we both landed in Australia. We decided to immigrate at the same time as well. So we quit our
Oh,
jobs, immigrated to Australia. Tineke got a job, and I started working. I started looking for business opportunities. And my first real venture into the online world was to write a book and to sell that book online. And it was fantastic. I had my first joint venture promotion very quickly. So within the first 6 months of getting started online, I had a good product, a nice book, and I had a good promoter. And he promoted for me once I launched, and I had a ton of sales. And I thought this is the life. I was working from home, making money, and selling a product that I didn't need to be physically, in a specific place. I could do it from anywhere. And I thought, this is just the bee's knees. And then something happened, or the lack of something happened. My traffic completely dried up. And I really did not have a clue. That first relationship that I had, the joint venture person who promoted for me, he was the person that I learned from. So he already had an audience. But then, I did not have a clue about how to drive traffic, how to get organic traffic, how to get paid traffic, how to get traffic from joint venture partners. I did not have an idea. And so with the traffic dying down, our sales died down as well. And, so our money started going down as well. And it really took me about a year and a half. It was 2 years all up from the day that I started that it really took me to figure out the game. I remember just before the next big success, which was a year and a half later, I was doing a project with my original mentor, and it was a pretty intense project. We were going to set up a membership site, and the silly thing we did was we gave ourselves only 3 weeks from the day that we came up with the idea to launching it. And we announced this as well to our whole audience on our podcast. This is 2006. We already had a podcast going back then. It was all about what we call social media today. Back then it was called Web 2.0 strategies. And anyway, we set up the site. I was going to interview him on a weekly call, and then we'd have members paying us monthly. It turned out that we just put ourselves under so much pressure, and 3 weeks is not long enough, and we almost killed ourselves. It ended up blowing up, and we lost a mentor, and I lost a friend, and it was terrible. At that moment, I was just ready to quit. I said, Tineke, this is it. I've tried for 2 years now. This sucks. Then a week later, I got introduced to a very good friend of mine, Yaro Starak, that some of you guys might know. we decided to do a project together, and you know, I still had to work 6 months at it on no pay before we launched. But when we launched, we got 10,000 people joining our newsletter within the first 2 weeks.
Wow.
We had 700 monthly paying members join us. After a month, we had 1,000 members join us, monthly members. You know, so I went from literally zero to around a $20,000 a month income with that project. You know, from there, you know, I just built on what I learned, all the mistakes that I made. Next, I worked with a local magician, took him from, you know, absolute zero influence to a worldwide phenomenon. If you go on YouTube now and you search for Free Magic Tricks, his channel will come up #1. So probably the #1 street magic channel, or at least the #1 channel for free magic tricks on YouTube in the world right now. He's got about 260,000 subscribers. I've lost count on how many million views. Doing really, really well. I moved into my own stuff a bit as well. Started teaching people about video marketing, with YouTube. And then I started launching other things like Splashio. It's another business that I started that helps people to make their videos look great. And more recently, just launched VRoll.com, which helps people with getting great results from YouTube video ads. Yeah, so it's been a bit of a journey, but certainly, you know, over the last 8 years, video has been a massive, massive part of that, and it's certainly. I've been very blessed and lucky and to be able to get so many results from video.
Yeah, look, I don't think it's luck, man. I remember back in the early days when you were doing video interviews when everyone else was doing, well, not everyone else. I mean, podcast is the big fad right now, but you guys were doing it back when no one really knew anything about it. But you even back then you said, "Oh, how can you do something different?" And then you started doing video interviews. So you've always, what I've noticed from you from afar is you're always looking for what's next, what's that edge, and which is cool, man. And you look along the journey. There's always ups and downs, but mate, yeah, I remember you've had a bunch of cool other products. You did video blogging. That was really cool. I know that was a timely when that came out. Are you still doing that, mate?
That particular product's not available anymore. I've kind of moved away from information products now. So now I just build, productized services or software-based businesses. I just find this it's more exciting for me. It's more leverage, and it's just a bit more sustainable. And the main thing for me also is that it's not just based on me. You know, even though I might be the face of the business, the product is not me. So what it means is I can get out of that business if I wanted to without destroying the business. So the latest two businesses, Splashio and VRoll, has certainly been set up with that viewpoint to create an asset that's leverageable, separate from me and my face and my personality.
Cool. Okay. Well, mate, look again, and you can just see by the numbers if people are looking at the screen right now that 738 comments. That doesn't happen by accident. That's someone with worldwide credibility. So, anyway, I want to get stuck into the content now, man. I know that a bunch of the members listening to this, they've from a variety of different businesses, obviously, and they're always looking for how to best get leads and traffic and things like that. And I always tell people you've got to play to your strengths. Sometimes, if there's a good channel of traffic, but it doesn't play to your strength, then I believe you've got to try and do something that is more comfortable, so it doesn't create friction, right? So I know video is usable for a lot of people in a lot of industries. So can you talk, I guess the way I see it, if you're going to use YouTube as a medium to get traffic, I see there's either free traffic through, punching out content or paid traffic, which you can talk about VRoll later on. So do you want to talk about people who've got a shoestring budget, they want to build up an audience using YouTube? Do you want to start down that path with us?
Yeah, sure. In terms of traffic, there's really two options there, or two kind of resources you could draw from. If you're, the two resources are time and money. and often when you have the one, you don't have the other.
Yeah.
So if you don't have any money, you're going to have to pull in from your time resource to help you build traffic.
Yep.
And YouTube is an amazing platform to build an authority channel on, and to build viewership, build subscribers, but more importantly, to be able to influence people and direct them to anywhere you want. To direct them to your own business that you 100% own.
Yep.
But it takes time. It's a time commitment. Either you or someone within your business needs to be committed to creating content,
Yeah.
free content that you regularly update to YouTube, and where you regularly spend time on YouTube to build that community. Whereas with paid advertising, the YouTube paid one, of course, if you're in a hurry and you've got money, you can get a crazy amount of traffic very, very quickly. So yes, and then there's probably anything in between as well. I always recommend, or have been, not always, I have been recommending more recently, that you try and do both. You build up the organic channel, your organic YouTube videos on YouTube, but then you also complement that with paid advertising, and that's a key formula for winning.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, what about? Look, I totally agree. I mean, I think the best, if you can afford paid traffic and you've got a good funnel set up, which has got a good automated ascension program, and you can monetize it quickly, then that's the like you said, the fastest and best way. But mate, what about for people who are let's just start with the people who are looking for more organic free traffic at the moment, and then might be just thinking about starting a YouTube channel. And I know a lot of people get a bit overwhelmed thinking about it, because they're probably thinking, I don't know what kind of quality does it have to be, and what else do I have to do apart from just uploading it to YouTube and things like that. So what are some of the
Sure.
steps that they could take?
Yeah, a great question. So, I think before you even start thinking about the how, in terms of the technology and the platform and all that sort of stuff, which is important to get to know if you're going to do it yourself, is rather to go a step higher, step back a bit, and ask yourself the question, who it is that you're trying to target, and what problems you're trying to solve for these people. And if you're already in business, you'll probably already have a good idea of that. If you're new to business, you're going to have to do a bit more searching, of course. But the who question is so critical when it comes to YouTube and setting up your channel.
Yeah.
If you get the target audience wrong, nothing else really matters on YouTube. If you, for example, and there's many ways of getting it wrong. One way of getting it wrong is if you pick an audience where there's a lot of people there, but if you're doing this for a business, maybe they don't have any money, and they don't have any money to buy your products. And so for that, it's certainly going to be more challenging to monetize. I mean, one way to monetize, of course, is through advertising, where the viewers, they don't pay any money. They just watch the videos, but they see ads on your channel. And so you can make some money from that way. But that's challenging, because you really got to get millions of views. So compare that to the scenario where you pick an audience where maybe there's a lot of them, but they're also spenders. They have money to spend, and the trick is to find that sweet spot. Find that sweet spot of an audience where there's enough of them around, and they're happy to spend money, and where you can solve real problems for them. So, and the other extreme, of course, is to find an audience that's just too small. Maybe they have a lot of money, but they're just too small. Unless, of course, it's like 100 billionaires, and you're able to reach all of them, and you only get 100 views on your videos ever, but all of them, each person who watches it is a billionaire, then that's fine. You don't need a lot of views. You don't need a big audience. So, but those are the sort of things you got to think about, because as you grow your channel, that audience is going to be the people who will help you grow the channel. And if there's not a market, if they don't exist, if there's not an interest group who's locked into or interested in what you're talking about or what your channel is about, it's going to be very difficult to build that channel. So that's
Yeah.
really the first thing is to figure out and to get really clear on who it is you want to target on YouTube, and making sure that there's enough of them around, and also that they have money.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, cool. I love that. So it's very similar to just general marketing advice, whatever medium, isn't it? So
Yeah,
so
exactly.
so tell me, all right, let's say someone's listening to this and they've narrowed down their niche. They've found a niche inside the niche, which is got a good size number. They've got some money, and they've got a specific problem that they can solve. So what's the next step?
Okay. So the next step is to really start generating some content.
Yep.
Getting some content out there that appeals to your target audience. And
Right.
one kind of content that works well, that would appeal to your target audience, is to basically address some of the main problems, needs, wants, frustrations, desires that they have. Once again, this is still the basics of marketing, but it works just as well on YouTube. And there's a slight
Mm.
twist, and I'll give it in a second. But the key thing is to really think about how you can be helpful to your target audience. And when I say problem, need, want, frustration, desire, etc., it doesn't always have to be a problem that you might think, oh, these people are really struggling with this thing. It
Yeah.
could just be in the form of entertainment. Maybe the
Mm.
problem that your audience has is that they're totally bored and they need to
Yeah.
get entertained. Or
Mm.
maybe in your industry, there's a lot of great videos out there, but they're all boring. And you go out and make them exciting, or make them interesting, or have a twist on them, or make them funny. So there's a lot of ways of looking at different ways of solving these. I'm going to use inverted commas to say problem. So when I say problem, I really mean it in that a wider context.
Yeah. Cool.
So then you create content. And get it out there. At the beginning, unless you get lucky, you're probably not going to get a lot of traction.
Mm.
Not a lot of views, not a lot of subscribers, etc. But don't worry about it. All you want to do at the beginning is start building a base, a good base of solid content, so that someone does visit your channel, they can see there's some good stuff happening there, and then much more likely to subscribe and to share it as well. But that's really
Okay.
just the beginning. The backbone of your channel will be creating great content on a regular basis that serves the needs of your target audience.
Okay. So let's say that someone like they've mapped out a bit of a content plan. They can say, right, I'm going to do one video per problem, or like instead of trying to cover five in one video, just do probably one at a time. Is there a video length that you'd recommend?
It's an interesting one. In general, shorter videos are better,
Hmm.
because let's face it, everybody's busy, everybody's distracted, everybody's got ADD online these days,
Yeah.
and also it's not only that, you're also competing for attention in a big way.
Yeah.
I mean, just Facebook is a great example. When people scroll through the posts, you're, essentially, if you want to get people's attention, you're competing with everyone else's posts on there. What makes your post different, that people should stop scrolling and read your post or watch your little video on your Facebook profile. Same thing
Yeah.
on YouTube. With subscribers, when they scroll through the subscription feed, you're competing with everyone else. You're
Yeah.
competing with everyone else within YouTube, but you're also competing with everyone else on Facebook, and also everyone else who's trying to contact your viewer on Skype or on email or on the phone or their family or whatever it is. There's this competition for attention,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so you've got to figure out how you can really grab people's attention. So that's very, very important.
Okay.
So as you grow it, that's the sort of thing that's going to happen. You'll figure out what gets people's attention. And sorry, you had a question, Brett?
Yeah, that's right. So some quick. So they've mapped out like a plan. Like let's say they've. I mean, it's when I teach people how to do it, like a 90-day email campaign, right? And most people stare at a blank screen. They go, "Oh, what am I going to write about?" And they put it off. They don't do it. No one emails their list as much as they should. And the way I get people engaged to overcome that blank screen syndrome and get past it is just to have a brain dump of 20 things that they know or problems that they can solve or specific topics inside their niche. And I suppose that'll be the same kind of exercise you could do with YouTube channels. Instead of writing an email, say, right, I'm going to do a quick video. Like for copywriting, I could do a video on headlines, one on bullet points, one on call to actions, one on conversational copy, and just go on and on and on, right? Um, and then I could. I mean, I started a YouTube channel with no direction. Just I saw you and Yara do it, so I thought, oh well, I think maybe I should. And I just did a bunch of bunch of topics. I did one video for 30 days, right? Which kind of leads me to my next question, right? So just quickly, I suppose you touched on catching their attention. So you want to minimize waffling. You want to get to the point straight away, and you want to not make it short and punchy. Is there any other tips, or is that a pretty
Yeah,
close
sorry,
to it?
I drifted off from the original question. I remember now. She asked how long should a video be. So, yeah,
That's all
sorry
right.
about that. Yeah, so in general, it's shorter, but it does depend on your audience as well, and their
Mm,
engagement. I've had 2-hour-long presentations where 100% of the people would stay on the call, would stay on the video, a live video. So it's a different format and a different environment. But in
yeah,
general, especially when you're getting started, just make them nice and short and punchy. Get to the identify the problem right up front and help them solve them very quickly. Uh, uh, you know, so that people get that value really quick from your video. And what I said about the competitive thing before, if they're scrolling through the stream and they're seeing your video is like 15 minutes long, and there's another video that's only like 1 minute long or 3 minutes long,
yeah,
immediately people would rather watch a shorter video,
of
and think,
course,
oh,
yeah,
I'll watch that longer one later, but they never do. They just scroll past and they never quite get to it
that's right.
unless they're fully engaged and they're really interested in the topic.
Yeah, yeah,
So in
cool.
general, I'd start with shorter ones, and then put the feelers out. Test things with your audience because the different audiences are different as well. Different attention spans for different age groups, different genders, different interests. So you've really got to play it by ear. But the general rule of thumb is shorter videos are better for getting people to watch them and share them as well.
Yeah, yeah,
And
gotcha.
when I
Cool.
say shorter, I'm thinking between 1 and 3 minutes.
1 and 3 minutes. That's ideal. Now, what about the people when they compare themselves to others? I mean, you look at your channel here, and you've got the wording and things like that. Obviously, that's ideal, but I know if you just stuck over to my channel, I just thought, oh well, I'm just going to throw them up no matter what. So this is me here just doing a tips. Um, and my theory was like, if I had more time on my hand, I'd go through and do the pitches and things like that. But would you agree to say that people just get started and don't wait for perfection? What's your attitude on that?
Oh yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to wait for perfection, you'll never get started.
Yeah,
There's a really nice mind shift that you can have if you're a bit of a perfectionist, and this is from the total quality management world. People like Edward Deming that came up with this sort of stuff. I think it was Edward Deming that talked about. I'm paraphrasing here as well, but basically you have this overall aim for perfection in life, right, or in
yeah,
business,
yeah,
but you never quite get there,
hmm
and it's a continual process of improvement, of small incremental improvements towards that perfection, and you never quite get there, but you're always aiming towards it. And the
yeah,
only way that you can get there is through doing stuff and doing imperfect stuff. You can go and have a look at probably my first video on my channel, but it won't even give you a good idea of what I started with.
right,
There's another channel that I won't even tell you about that I'm embarrassed about. That was my very first channel. And if you're going
yeah,
to look at those videos, I keep them because I laugh at them, and it's a nice sort of example to show people when I have the guts. But my first videos were very basic and very cringe-worthy, that's for sure. But the thing is, if I didn't do them, I wouldn't have learned. I wouldn't have been able to get that feedback loop.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's the thing. You need a feedback loop when you take action, and that's the only way you can get the improvement. If you take action and get that feedback loop to show you what you've done wrong and how you can improve. So yeah,
Cool.
absolutely. Just get it done. Get a few up there. Don't worry about all the copy, your title and description stuff. You can improve that as you go. Don't worry too much about the thumbnails. You can improve that as you go. In saying that, though, those things are important, definitely for the longer term.
Yeah.
But when you're just getting started, just get stuff out there. If you're shy about it, just make the videos unlisted or private so that no one can see them. Only you can. But at least you got something up there that you can have a look at.
Excellent. Cool. Okay, so they've got the niche, they've got their plan, they've jumped in and doing some videos, and now they've uploaded it to YouTube. How do you get it so it shows up how do you get it optimized? Is there anything quick and easy you can tell people? So unless people are specifically typing your keywords, what else do you do so it gets up in the top part of the search when people are searching for topics?
Yeah, sure. I mean, the game has changed a lot over the last few years, and especially over the last 2 or 3 years. YouTube has really changed things and in a way leveled the playing field, which is fantastic news for smaller creators. What used to be the case is that all you had to do to rank for a video was to get have a good keyword in your video, and then maybe a good thumbnail, and then get a ton of views, and boom, you just rank #1 very easily. And of course, people started gaming the system. People start buying fake views and just get views through proxies, and get people in, I don't know, where Ukraine or Russia or whatever, to click on your video just to get the views. And so YouTube caught on to that, of course. And they're all about user experience. They want their users to have a good experience. And so what they have now is very different to what it used to be. The way to show up in the YouTube search engine, which is of course the second biggest search engine in the world after Google, the way to show up is to focus on 2 things. And I'll share the nitty-gritty stuff as well, but here are the big ideas. First of all, watch time.
Right.
The watch time of your video is the most important factor.
So give us an example of watch time. So you have to be in my channel, for instance. Do I show people that?
No, it doesn't matter too much. Watch time is basically how long someone watches your video, how engaged they are in your video.
How long they stay on it, right? Yep.
Yeah, and they're not forthcoming with the exact formula that they're using, but my gut feeling is that it's a combination between how many actual seconds or minutes they watch of your video, plus the percentage of the length of your video.
Yeah.
And the reason I think that is because, if your video is only 10 seconds long, and people, it's going to be very easy for people to watch a complete video, and then, that would be an unfair way to rank videos. If all you have to do to rank is just create really short videos. So I think it's a combination, and they want to see that people are watching your video, and they can track when people click stop or when they close the page or click away or whatever. They can track that, and they can also track what people are doing. Are they sharing your video while they're watching? Are they writing a comment while they're watching? They really look at that engagement behavior during that watch time. So that is the most important thing. And what it really means is that for you to improve watch time, you just got to create better videos.
That's right.
You got to create better videos. And if you get your targeting right, and you have what we call over here, it's not our phrase, but it's known as audience to message match.
Yep.
When you get audience to message match, your watch time will shoot through the roof.
Yep.
Audience to message match is simply that you're targeting the right people and you're showing them the right stuff.
Yeah, and you're getting the right message for the right market at the right time. Yep. Cool. Okay, so we're going to go back one step, and that is just a quick couple of minutes on people who, or maybe some of the equipment to get people started, to actually make the videos and upload them and things like that?
Yeah, sure. I mean, I would start with whatever you've got. Whatever camera you've got in your pocket, use that. You know,
Yeah,
don't go all complicated for getting started. In fact, I've gone full circle. I started with some really basic things. Back in the day, they still had these little things called flip cameras. I'm not sure if you remember those.
oh, I do those. Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
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 and then I moved all the way up to some very professional gear, and digital cameras, with some extremely good quality video. And nowadays, I'm right back to very simple. My iPhone, I just use little webcams, the little Logitech 920. That does a fantastic job with especially with webinars or with live events. And so you don't need complicated equipment, especially when you're getting started. You don't want to get bogged down with complicated stuff. You just want to get some stuff out there, and get it going. Really good friend of mine, Roger Hamilton. He's a really good example for me, of someone who he's able, if he wanted to, he could hire a whole production crew to video him every single time.
right.
But even though he has the resources available, and I'm sure he doesn't have any issues with money, he just uses his phone camera, and he creates regular videos. He does a fantastic job, and
And
he's just recently started with his channel and growing it. So it's a really good example, I think, of someone who's able to just get going with an iPhone, or other kind of mobile phone, and just get some videos out there. Just get them out there.
yeah,
If you want to see Roger's one, he's got a few channels. The one that I'm referring to is probably not the one you clicked on. Oh,
right,
yeah, it might be that one. This one? Yeah, I think it is this one. Yeah.
right,
Let's see, is that Authority episode? Yeah, I think it's Entrepreneur TV. Yeah, this is a good channel to look at. Roger's doing a fantastic job. I've given Roger a few points to help him improve things, and
yeah,
he's what's great about Roger is that he's a massive action taker, and his audience. You see the comments that he's getting on his videos. People just go insane. They just write
wow,
essays to him. So the
8,000,
engagement that he's getting. Yeah,
yeah.
he's doing very well with that.
So okay, that's cool. So I mean, I like the advice. When I started my YouTube channel, all I did was I held the iPhone out in front of my face and just pressed record and just spoke for 4 minutes and then uploaded it from my phone. That was the extent of my video marketing preparation and
Right.
tech, right?
Yes.
And I could have done a lot better, but I think there was just the fact of just doing it and doing something was great,
Yes.
What about? I know someone's asked in software.
Software?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay, so software, once again, the simpler the better when you're getting started. You don't want to get the full-on professional stuff. There's no use for that. There's no need for that. Leave that to the pros. What I use on my Mac, if you're on Mac, seriously, the best software that you can get for your video editing is ScreenFlow. There's nothing else really that I've found that beats it in terms of
agreed.
features and simplicity and getting stuff out there. And it doubles up as a screen capture piece of software as well. But you can edit your normal videos in there too. It's just a beautiful piece of software.
Yeah,
I wouldn't really recommend iMovie. I mean, yes, you can use it, but if you want to do a few more fancy things like adding a soundtrack or just doing a better job at it, then it gets frustrating. So
yeah,
ScreenFlow is about $100, totally worth it. If you're on
agreed.
PC, I'm not a PC guy. I haven't been for a while, so I'm not quite sure what's the best there at the moment. But the equivalent of that on PC is Camtasia, also very popular and very prominent software. And you can do very similar things on Camtasia as you can do with ScreenFlow, as far as I know. Another piece of software might get you a bit more features is Sony Vegas, but just a simple one. I think there's one called Sony Vegas Studio Pro or something like that. It's only $40 or $39 last time I checked. It's not the expensive version. I just get the maybe you can Google it as well, Brett. It's I think it's called Sony Vegas Studio.
Okay,
And it's the $40 one or $50 one, around about there, unless they've changed their prices.
cool.
Yeah, so that would cover you. You know, the Sony Vegas one has a probably slightly higher learning curve, um, but the Camtasia one will it's probably easier to learn, I'd imagine, than Sony Vegas. But they both would serve you very well.
Yeah, cool. I'm not sure which link it is, but anyway,
Yes, do
cool.
that
So
one, and
and
it'll go you the family,
so
I'll
I
show
guess
you.
the same thing happens with iPads. They're just as good. And the selfie sticks are fantastic now, aren't they? You know, what you can makes
Oh,
it
for
even
sure,
easier for
yes.
us. Yeah. Okay, because I mean, and you can do it. You can even trim things on YouTube. I actually don't
Oh, yeah.
use um, any software. Well, mind you, I'm no one to model, but I on this area, but I shoot a clip and then I'll put it onto YouTube and then I'll just trim it inside YouTube. Just cut the
Yeah.
start and end of it.
Yep,
Um,
you can do that as well. Keep it real simple if you want it. You don't even need any software. Yeah, absolutely. If you scroll down on
yeah,
that Sony Vegas one, I'll show you the one that I thought, because the top one's the more expensive one. If you scroll down, you see there's the movie, the pinky purple one in the middle, Movie Studio
okay.
13. It's like $49. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'll do the job. So it
oh,
doesn't have to be expensive if you want to do the editing. But yeah, like you say, you can just do it all on YouTube as well if you wanted to. Just trim out
oh,
the front and back. You can even cut out bits in the middle. If you made a mistake. So one thing you could do actually is just uh, you just record it on your phone, upload it straight to YouTube, but upload it as unlisted, so it doesn't go out into your subscription stream, and
mhm.
then just go and do the editing using the little trim tool in YouTube, and once it's processed, you make it live. Done.
Yeah. Hey, a cool thing that I do now, mate, with videos is when I shoot a video in the office, I might do a strategy for someone with a flow chart or a video to my audience, um, and before I upload it to YouTube, I'll use an app which is called Movie Looks.
Okay.
Is that what it's called? Yeah, Movie Looks, and straight away it has all these different washes that you can put over it, and I'll see if I can.
It's a bit like Instagram, but just for video, is it?
Exactly, mate. Yeah. So I'll see if I can show you one in my channel. And it's cool because it makes me look, 50% healthier and tanned and all that kind of stuff. So
Right.
here's one that yeah. So anyway, you probably can't hear that, but that
Yeah,
was
looks
more
nice.
of a warm greeny one. But there's all these different, yeah, just like Instagram, you can put a wash over it and it looks fantastic. So
Very cool.
I love the little shortcuts that you can do,
Yes.
and it doesn't have to be complicated. So I'm really glad that you agree with that, mate, which is cool.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Um,
Keep it simple. Yeah.
yeah, excellent. Um, so where were we up to now? I've got a bunch of questions coming, so I'm trying to. We said, do we want to enable or disable the video embedding code in YouTube, or do we want people to embed our videos in their websites? Does it still track in onto our YouTube channel, tracking watch time? Um, look, yeah, I might. I think those kind of questions are good, but I think there might be next. I want to go kind of a different path before we get to that. Is that cool with you again?
Yeah. Absolutely. Sure.
Um, so I just want to have a bit of a sequence for people to follow. So they've shot their videos. They've either edited it or straight on their phone on YouTube. They can put a cool wash over it or whatever. Um, and now, uh, okay, so let's talk about the best. Okay, so now it's not so much. Oh, well, let's talk about the video title. Is that how significant is that? I mean, is that the number when people search things? You want to try and match that as best as you can.
Yes,
So,
sure. So we didn't quite close the loop on how to get your videos ranking in YouTube. So we started off with watch time. The second thing, even before you think about the titles and stuff, is something called session time.
yeah,
That's it's on par with watch time in terms of importance. And session time is simply what people basically do after they've watched your video. So how long they stay on YouTube as a result of watching your original video. And there's various
Right.
things you can do there. You can, for example, at the end of your video, have an annotation that links to any of your previous videos. Or
Yep.
even better, you link to a playlist of your previous videos. So then they go and watch that playlist, and then they're going to stay on YouTube much longer. And then YouTube's going to go, oh, hang on, this original video made this person stay on here for like hours. It must be a worthwhile video that we want to serve because it creates such a good user experience for our audience. So those two things, watch time, session time, and then, and you do this when you upload your video, the next bit. To optimize what's called your on-page optimization. So it includes your title for your video, your description for your video,
Yep.
and also the tags, the keywords for your video. And then one that's kind of, it's debatable whether it's on page, but it's your thumbnail. That can also make a huge difference. So if you're basically the key idea for your title and description and tags is that you want to focus on one main keyword phrase and have related other keyword phrases as well in your tags. But for your title, you try and focus on one keyword phrase that you want to rank for, and then in your description, very important just to have some nice organic text in a natural writing style text. Don't try and load it with keywords and things like that. It'll get your video banned and even your channel maybe. And then in your tags, that's also very important to make sure you use tags that are actually very close to your content and descriptive of your content. I went through the YouTube certified training not too long ago, and they had this really interesting example of someone that did a parody for Gangnam Style video, right? And one of the keywords was actually Gangnam Style video as opposed to Gangnam Style parody video.
Right. Yes.
And I thought, oh, okay, cool. So they'll probably start ranking for Gangnam Style as well. That was the strategy. But what the YouTube guys said was that's actually not such a good strategy, because if people are expecting to see the Gangnam Style video, but they get a parody instead, that can actually count against you, and they won't be basically getting what they're searching for. So keep that principle in mind. If people find you through the search engine, and they click on your video and they get what they expect, that counts massively in your favor. So that's huge.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So don't try and be too tricky, because it can go against you. Yeah.
I mean, here's the sort of the rule of thumb, or the easy way of doing it. Just ask yourself, put yourself in the shoes of your customer, or your target audience, and say, what would they type into the YouTube search engine to find your video or similar videos? And if it's, one example that I had was, and I was #1 on YouTube for like 2 or 3 years for this video, sent me a ton of video views, and it was simply how to get more views on YouTube. My 5 top tips, and I wanted to rank for how to get more views on YouTube, and that ranked like gangbusters. I'm not #1 anymore. Other people caught on to it. There's another one where I have something like how to create a professional video. So people are typing this stuff into Google, and you can see there. So great. So I think I'm #1 for that one. It's been ages since I checked. I'm #4 or something. Yeah.
I remember you were leading that one too. That was So, and the guys listening to this, you can go to Gideon's channel, and there's just so much hints and tips, and they're fantastic. Also, I want to quickly show people Splashio. Just if I click on one of your videos, will the Splashio starter and outro be on it?
You'll probably have to watch the introduction first, probably 10 or 15 seconds, and then I'll get into it. Probably not my latest ones, because they've been more live events. But if you go to my channel, I'll show you one which you can give a shot. That one might have it. I can't remember, but that was like 2 years old, so that's pre-Splashio, I think.
That might be too. Yeah. All right. Well, I just want to show people.
You won't have my welcome video because you're subscribed. Go to scroll down a bit. If you go to my uploads, you can go to see all my videos.
Uploads. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just
See,
click
yeah,
on
see if you
that.
can go to that whole
Now,
one. There
just
might be one that's a bit earlier, that go for, yeah, do the instant branded videos. Do that one on the top right.
uh, okay, cool.
That'll-
So just want to see if
Want to
everyone.
know the fastest way to create branded videos on YouTube? Once we don't even have to do any video editing whatsoever, keep watching because I'm going to show you very soon. Okay, so this video is going to be super quick. I want to show you how to create branded videos on YouTube really fast without even doing any video editing at all. Okay, maybe just a little bit of editing, but I'm not sure whether what I'm about to show you would really be considered as video editing. You'll need the following three things. Number one, video intro. Number two, smartphone. And
Cool. So
You can probably pause that one.
do we
There's-
do we go? Hold on a second. I'll just pause this. So the intro at the start, and which is that cool bit of, I don't know what you call it. I might let you explain it, but so what I love about what you did with Splashio is when I saw people do that cool intro and then also an outro. I'm sure if I go here to the end.
I think this one doesn't. I can't remember what this one has, but I've haven't always been as good with my outro, so I might have it here. I can't remember.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah, so you got the intro and the outro, plus you got the bottom third. That's an awesome one, mate. Which is when I used to see other people do that, I go, gosh, I don't have anyone to do that, or where would I start? But you came up with Splashio. So do you want to just spend a couple of minutes talking about that? And because I know we're getting close to the hour, but and then I want to finish on some two things I really want to talk to you about. What's your advice on taking the videos off YouTube and put them on your blog? And you see what James Tremco does, and he has like little he'll put a skin on the video where you can actually get people to opt in to watch the rest of the video and all those kind of things. I know that probably deserves its own 1 hour webinar just by itself, but
yeah,
I just want to because the promise for this was how to triple leads. And I already know the answer to that is YouTube advertising, because it's probably like what Google AdWords were, 6 or 7 years ago, I guess. But
sure.
so they're the two things I want to cover is what outside of YouTube, what else can you do? But once you finish Splashio, sorry mate, I'm going to throw a lot at you. A little bit on Splashio, a little bit on how you can make your videos go out to other channels and then finally we'll wrap up with your V-Roll camp
Sure.
latest thing. So
okay, so Splashio, like we to talk about that now?
Yes, thanks. That'd be good.
All right, so Splashio is a relatively new business. I started probably about 3 years old now. I guess it's not that young anymore. But we wanted to create something that would help people very quickly create videos that looked great, and we wanted to give just normal people, not super professional video editors, they can do their own stuff, but for normal folks, just the ability to create professional looking video without having professional video editing software or hiring a massive video production team, right? So what we found was this like a little shortcut. It's a shortcut to make your videos look great and to make them more effective too. And that's by using these little splashios that we came up with. There's the intros that you saw, and all that is really just a nice little logo animation of your business logo, and it's only like 5 seconds long, 5 seconds at the most. And you can use those just towards the beginning of your video, like you saw in my example, just to set the scene, to make it look professional, and also to inject your brand into the video. The second one that we have there is for your lower thirds, and that we use that basically just to, it's just not the second. The second one is the segues. Let's do segues next. Segues we found was just a nice way to break up your video. So when you're transitioning between different parts of your video, you can use these little segues to just transition people from one part of your video to the next. It's just a nice little professional way to do it. And once again,
I might play. Sorry to cut you. I might play one of them because I know they only go for 5 seconds, so we can do
yeah,
that.
sure.
Hey.
That's just we need to get rid of that video. Just select another one because that's just the introduction video. It's not an actual intro.
Okay, gotcha. Cool. So that's one. They're just awesome how you've done this, mate. And people watching this, you can put your own logo in there, and it just does it automatically.
That's right.
So that's an intro. You can get that done automatically, and we've got the segue. So that segue.
Yeah, so just a quick correction. So they're not automatic just yet. We actually have real people that will look at your submission and make sure you've got exactly the right file, the right sizes, and then we have someone that positions it exactly perfectly for you, so that at the end of it you have a product that you are just totally thrilled with. I think if you go to our products page, you'll see there's we've actually got kind of sick of getting testimonials. We just kind of shut them off. There's just so many of them that they keep on just coming in and coming in and coming in. So we've taken a selection that we thought is nice and just put them on the page. But the reason why people love it so much is that they just get exactly what they want. And we work with. It's not like a piece of software you just upload your logo and boom, you get something back, and 9 times out of 10 you're not really happy with it. And there's a lot of those kind of services out there, and you struggle to get something that looks pro. And we do. Most of our customers are business customers. If you're a teenager and you've got a gaming channel or something, and you don't want to be all the professional, maybe you can use those other options or a Fiverr gig. But we know our customers are business oriented and they want it to look professional. So we basically work until our customers are happy, until they like all their money back, basically. So, and I think that's something that's really distinguished us in the market. We're one of the few, perhaps not the only one, where we have real people behind the scenes working on this for you and interacting with you to make sure that that's 100% what you want.
Oh, it's brilliant, mate. I think it's very clever. And the cool thing is you just have to do it once and once only, and you can do, once you have your intro, your lower third and the outro, you can just keep on punching as many videos and just tack them on the start, and so it's just really cool.
Yeah, that's right. You do it once, and you can use them over and over in as many videos as you want.
Yeah, so that's the lower third that comes in, or it's another one. Cool. That's just brilliant, and outros and all that kind of cool. So then it's really affordable, mate. I was still amazed when you told me. What is the price now for some?
Yeah, so when we actually started the business, we had it fully custom, right? And so obviously the fully custom ones are more elaborated, I guess. But it would cost us between $500 and $1,000. Or no, it wouldn't cost us that, but that was the price. That we would charge, and it would take us about a week to deliver on one. Everyone. So then we basically we changed things up, systemized it, and automated a lot of it, and brought it down to it only takes about a day now to get it back to you during business days, and so within one day you can get it back during the week, and it's the intros are sitting at about $47. Most of them are $47. I think the outros are the only ones that are like $97. So they're a bit more involved.
That's just so amazingly cheap, mate. I just think that's fascinating. Because again, guys, listen to this. You only have to buy it once, and you've just got something really professional, and you get it back in a day. I mean, my God, it's just. Splashio still amazes me. I think that's fantastic. All right, cool. Thanks for that, mate. If you guys want that, there's nothing in it for me. I just think everything Gideon does is awesome. I just want to promote it. So, mate, I want to end on VRoll because that's where the big traffic is. You know that, man. That's when, if you really want to turn the traffic tap on, it's paid traffic. But just quickly. So they've got their channels now. They've got someone's got their videos. They've got Splashio, and it looks professional. They've got the titles done. But how else? How can you get the most leverage from your videos? Let's spend a few minutes on that.
Sure. Okay. So there's a number of ways that you can grow your audience on YouTube. So organically speaking, so free kind of stuff, but that requires time is really yeah. So the base is your content, but from there you can market your content. There's a lot of things you can do. Probably the biggest strategy, and this is harder to pull off, but you can certainly start doing it with smaller players and then move your way up. But that is with collaborations, where you find other YouTubers in your industry or in your topic area, and you do little projects together with them. You know, you create a video for them that they upload to their channel, and they link back to yours, and vice versa. And you know, if they have quite a few subscribers, they'll see your video and they'll link back to your it'll link back to your channel, and they come and watch your videos and subscribe to your channel, and then you do the same for them. And you just keep on doing this with a lot of people. That's one great strategy for growing your channel. Another one is just through your normal social media. You know, spread the word on the social media channels, Twitter and Facebook and Google Plus. Google Plus is, you know, don't underestimate that. That actually it does help for getting exposure for your video.
Okay, I've got one question there.
Sure.
Or two questions. I want to go back to the collaboration or joint ventures, and maybe give you some tips on how to approach people, especially if they've got no views, what's in it for the other person. But just on the subject of social media, so you've got your YouTube channel, your video, and you can go up and grab the YouTube link, and you can dump it into Facebook, right, or Twitter. But what do you know the rules? Is Facebook not like YouTube? They prefer to be fresh content to be uploaded into Facebook. Is that right?
Yeah, there certainly seems to be a bit of rivalry going on there, especially you know, more recently with the video stuff. And it's been documented very clearly that when you just embed your YouTube video on Facebook, it doesn't get nearly as much views and engagement as you would compared to if you just uploaded your video straight to Facebook.
Right.
You know, so when you upload straight to Facebook, your chances of getting exposure on Facebook is much greater.
Right.
So there's more than one way of doing it. You know, Facebook I think is great for video when it comes to getting that first hit of views.
Yeah.
But for organic traffic, I don't think at the moment, in any case, you'd be getting a lot of longer-term traffic. Whereas that's where YouTube is really great. You know, if you optimize your video really well, you can do extremely well. There's a good example. If you do a search, this might be a good example in case in point. If you do a search on YouTube for
on YouTube.
yeah, just go to YouTube and search for YouTube video ads. Right. Okay, so you'll see there the number one video, the number one organic video, if you ignore the first two ones, is my video. Now look at that. It's got 5,500 views, right? But look at the video below that. That's got 24 million views, and look at the channel owner. It's YouTube. It's owned by YouTube. So I was able to outrank YouTube with my video. For a keyword phrase that they wanted to rank for, right?
That's ninja.
And so it was a live event. This particular one, I probably only sent from my own stuff, maybe 1,500 or to 2,000 views, maybe. But all the other video views from that one, it's over 6,000 hours in it. Sorry, all of the other ones were completely and purely from organic.
Wow.
Search engine traffic. So, you know,
how'd you do
this
that?
is something you won't get in. Sorry?
How'd you do that?
Do what? Get it to number one?
Yeah.
One of the key things here was that it was a live event on YouTube. And look at the length of that video. It's an hour and
an hour and 24. Wow.
24 minutes long, right? So I had probably about it wasn't even, maybe it was 300 or 400 people on the call live with me.
So this is like Google Hangout you're talking about now, isn't it?
There's two kinds. The Google Hangouts is the easier one. I like doing the live events because you just get a bit more control, but they're much more complicated. But they both have the same effect.
Okay.
What happens with these ones is that when you have 300 people watching you live, or even 10, and they stay on and watch for an hour and a half.
Yes.
What does that do you think, to your watch time and your session time for your channel
You
and
got a
for that video?
legendary status.
It goes through the roof.
Yeah.
And so look at YouTube's video there. It's a minute and 30 seconds long. Even though they've got 24 million views on it, it's not ranking number one, I would say, because their watch time and session time is not as good as mine.
Okay, cool. So
yeah.
that's fascinating. And again, that's another topic that deserves its own webinar on how to create live events on YouTube. Someone just asked, what is V-Roll? So we're going to get to that. No, you haven't missed anything, because look, the promise was how to triple your leads, right, with using video. And last year, was it last year? Yeah, in January last year, Lenny and I were at the Traffic and Conversion Summit in San Diego, and for a little while now the talk's been YouTube advertising, and before long, the man Gideon was owning that space in Australia. So now you've taken to a whole new level, mate. So did you want to tell everyone a little bit about video ads, and then tell them what you're doing with V-Roll?
Yeah, sure thing. I mean, video ads, YouTube video ads is a relatively new thing. It's actually been around for about 3 years, but it's been slow on the uptake because there's a barrier to entry. If you want to run video ads, you got to create a video, and most businesses, most people just go, they throw up their hands in despair and go, well, I'm not going to create a video to run an ad.
Yeah,
actually, the uptake's been a bit slow as a result.
So do you? So if I click on one of your ones, will it have a video ad on there, or?
Probably not. So video ads only show on videos that's been monetized. So the
Right.
channel owner needs to monetize that video, and then an ad will show on it. So it's not all videos that have ads on them, but trust me, there's a big chunk of them.
Exactly.
I don't know what the statistic is, but it's huge.
For anyone that sees it, when you click on a video and then all of a sudden there's a video shown before you, and you can say skip ad.
That's it.
So that's the video ad, just to bring everyone up to speed. All right, so I'll let you go on, mate.
Yeah, sure. So it's a relatively new thing. So what's happened is that we have now, at the moment, this massive glut of ad inventory. So we have basically like millions of creators, right, around on YouTube, but only a handful of advertisers. So what's happening is that there's so much video, monetized videos, available for ads, but not enough advertisers to use up all this ad space. And so what this means is that there's this massive opportunity right now to get really, really affordable views and traffic, and send them to your website. And so this is one of the reasons we created V-Roll. There were 3 main challenges that we saw that people had for getting onto YouTube ads. The original idea got in March last year, and we started the business in about April last year. But 3 problems. First one is with targeting. And people really struggle getting the targeting wrong, and you've probably seen that on YouTube. You go and watch a video, and then all of a sudden it shows a silly ad in front of it that you just think, what the heck does this ad have to do with me? Why is it showing it to me? It's got nothing to do with me. And you just click skip. So, and part of the reason that happens is because advertisers get the targeting wrong. So we said, okay, let's fix that. So we built a targeting tool that helps you find the exact videos that you want to show your ads in front of, and only those videos, nothing else.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing we solved. The second thing was the actual video production side of it. So we noticed that people said, okay, yeah, it's cool, there's lots of traffic there, but I don't want to create videos. So we said, okay, what can we do? So we developed some very, very clever and very professional-looking video ad templates that you can use. And all you have to do is type in some text, 5 lines of text, in fact, of 40 characters each. So basically, if you can type 5 Twitter messages, you can create these ads, right? So it's not much more work than just creating a normal AdWords campaign. If you can write a few lines of text, you can do it. And so we created these templates that you just type some text in, and then the video gets created for you. No editing required. Boom, done. And these things convert like gangbusters. Our best result so far is a 145% click-through rate. You might be wondering, why on earth is it more than 100%? So what happens is that and this is the cool thing, this is the really, really cool thing about YouTube ads right now. For the first 30 seconds of someone watching a video ad, you don't pay. You don't
Yeah.
pay for that ad. So you only get charged for a view if someone watches 30 seconds or less. 30 seconds or more of
Right.
your video ad. Unless your video is less than 30 seconds long, right? Then it's the full length of your video. So
Yeah.
so basically what we're doing is we're getting the clicks before the 30 seconds are up, and that's how we get a higher than 100% click-through rate, because we're getting more clicks registered than views registered. Okay.
Yeah. Gotcha.
So that's what our templates help you do. And then the third thing was just helping people with the complicated interface of AdWords, because you do this through AdWords, and especially people new to it. When I was just getting started, I was going, "What the hell? I don't know what settings to use. I don't know where to click." It was just a big mess. So we said, "Okay, let's create a campaign builder that's just super simple and can help you create these campaigns in no time." So you just type in a bunch of text, hit a button, it gives you a file that you then upload to AdWords, and you hit submit, and you're done. So that's what VRoll does at the moment. We've got a few more cool things coming up, but certainly it's been a fantastic journey, and certainly a lot of interest in it right now.
Yeah, mate, it blows my mind. If anyone wants to check it out, you go to vroll.com, and there's and when you click watch product demo, you have to actually create an account to go in there and watch the demo, which I did over here, and I'm halfway through it, and and that's about an hour. Yeah, just about an hour long. It runs you through it. So, mate, that's amazing. So, and tell us about some of the results people are getting from video ads now.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people getting great results. I think it does depend a bit on your industry as well. So what I recommend people do is test it, test it out, see how it works for you. And oftentimes, I would give it about 3 months because there's a learning curve. There's two learning curves here. There's the platform learning curve, the YouTube ads platform, but also if you're using VRoll, there's a slight learning curve with that. But the whole point of VRoll is to cut down on that learning curve and get you, like our promise is, you can get an ad created within 30 minutes. The work that you have to do to get it created is like 30 minutes or less. But then there's the market learning curve, and this is where you have to learn and get to know what's happening in your market and how your ads respond, or how people in the market respond to your ad, and that takes a bit of time. And so you gotta run some tests. And so we normally try and give 2 to 3 months to run proper tests to make sure you're ironing out and optimizing your ads to make sure that you're capitalizing on any opportunities that you might find there on YouTube.
Gotcha.
But, people
cool.
are quoting some pretty crazy results from YouTube ads.
Well, I know just some Facebook campaigns that I've done to get people to sign up and register for for Lanika and our live event. Sometimes it can hover between $15 per registration up to $30 each for each registration.
Whew.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's pretty steep. Some of our customers are getting webinar registrations for like 50 to 70 cents, 80 cents per registration.
Yeah.
So
there you go.
Yeah, and what we found also is that say you're targeting a keyword, if you compare the cost of what you pay for the click, what you end up paying for the click on YouTube ads to AdWords, it's orders of magnitude different. Massive.
Yeah.
Like we did, if I remember the numbers right, I did one for social media marketing, and I think that we managed to get the clicks down to about 38 cents. This is without optimizing. It was really just a real quick test for someone. And then I looked at the comparison in the AdWords tool, and if I remember right, I hope this is right. You can just check it to verify, but if I remember right, it was like $44 per click. Maybe it was $14, but even at $14, it's a massive difference in comparison where the two platforms are at right now.
Especially if you've got a marketing funnel, and everyone hearing this is we're coaching them to get a marketing funnel in place, and and it's all, the lower you can get your traffic costs, the more profits you make, and then you can scale it up and up and up. So a lot of people give up, and they don't, they can't be a marketing funnel. They try and drive traffic to it, and it doesn't make them money, so they close it down. But you can actually scale it up by getting some more affordable clicks through video ads. I think it's brilliant, mate. It's very cool. Hey, is there a V-roll ad that we can watch?
Yeah, sure thing. I can send you one. I can send you one through Skype if you like.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
This is actually the one that I tested that got a
you can put it
response.
You can put it into the chat in GoToWebinar.
Oh, true.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me find it for you.
Thanks. And then, guys, if we're going to wrap it up, so if any questions, you've got to fire them now. We've gone over 15 minutes, so appreciate your time today, Gideon, mate. And
you're welcome.
Sharon's going diving deeper at the live event coming up in a couple of weeks, which we're honoured and privileged and excited to have you there.
Okay, I've got the link for you.
Thanks for that.
So should I just do it in the type of question here? Is that where I post it?
Yep. And then
there you go. Did it come through for you?
It did.
Okay.
So we're going to go. Okay. So that's just loading. We're going to watch this is one of your templated V-roll ads, yeah?
Correct. So I'm not sure if anybody else can hear the sound, but there's a nice music track there as well.
Okay. So let me try. I might. Can you hear the sound, Gideon?
No, I couldn't hear the sound. Just make sure that your audio is on your player, on your YouTube player. It might be turned off. I'm not sure. Just hover over the little speaker, you'll see. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's awesome, man. So when they click on that, then that'll take them to the website, yeah?
Yeah. So when it's in the format of an ad, it'll be clickable. But if if you just view it on your normal channel, it's not clickable. No.
Of course.
But if you want to have it sort of clickable on your normal channel, you can just put an annotation over that area.
Right. Gotcha. No worries. Okay. Cool, mate. That's quality, very top quality, mate. Again, doesn't surprise me. You wouldn't do anything half-hearted. So, mate, look, that's a wrap. It looks like everyone's. If you just want to show your appreciation and let me know what you thought of today's session with Gideon. I thought it was fantastic. I know I threw a lot at you, mate, and to fit all that into 60 odd minutes was incredible. So you did well.
No problem.
Cool.
Thank you for the opportunity, Brett. It's always great chatting to you.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. And look forward to everyone's saying fantastic, great stuff, much appreciated, awesome. So, mate, 10 out of 10. Appreciate that, buddy. So, mate, look forward to chatting to you at the live event in a couple of weeks in February down the Gold Coast. I know you've got a lot of cool stuff to share with everyone down there. And mate, I know I'll be chatting to you about V-Roll, and I'm sure a lot of guys here will be chatting to you about Splashio and V-Roll as well. So well done, and thanks for sharing so much today.
Brilliant. Thanks, Brett, and I look forward to chatting to you soon.
Cheers. Catch you, mate. See you later, everyone. We'll catch you in a fortnight's time for the next